Welcome everyone to Learn On Weekly. This is Jim Sandher with EverFi, and I am super excited today to be talking with Jay Veal. Jay is the founder and CEO of It's Not Complicated Education, aka Inc. Education. He is also a teacher turned entrepreneur and really an innovator when it comes to helping students, and especially students of color, just find solutions as they prepare for their future. And just wanted to say, welcome, Jay. Thank you again for taking the time to talk with us.
Hey, absolutely appreciate it. Glad to be here, and I appreciate you inviting me over to have this discussion today.
Can you talk a little bit about what motivated you to start that business and maybe give us a little bit of a rundown of what that business does for people who might not know yet?
So for me, all of this stuff spurred me starting Inc. Education, right? In the middle of 2015 was when I started the company. It was me by myself at the time, very grassroots, bootstrap, no venture capital, nothing like that. And I really wanted to change the dynamic of what does it look like for students to get what they need. I noticed a gap for what students of color were not getting inside the classroom for support or outside the classroom for support. So what I did was I built an ecosystem, if you will, around communication first, right? So being able to build relationships with students and parents in the beginning, right? From a deep relationship perspective, like past, present, future, how are things going? How did you perform back then? What are your struggles? What are your successes? Why do you feel this way? Do you love math or do you love this content area, whatever? And we really got deep into the relationship and the communication, right? Then we included different stakeholders in our process. So including parents, teachers, counselors, students in our team, and also if they're in sports, the coaches, to make sure everybody's on one page academically and pedagogically. We mentor our students as part of the process and then provided back-end support for them after the tutoring is complete. So through data over a course of time, within about 2 years, we noticed that we had a 95% success rate of our students of color getting A's and B's in over 50 subjects nationwide. And so we were like, yo, this thing works, right? We have to do something else with this and continue the pathway.
Do you have any general advice for entrepreneurship teachers, business teachers, financial wellness teachers, the people who are teaching those types of subjects? Do you
Right.
have advice for them for helping students of color see entrepreneurship as a viable path for them?
For those that are teaching the entrepreneurship skills, our kids need to know several different things out there. Is how do you start a business and go from idea and concept to proof of concept, right? To what they call in the venture world an MVP, right? Which is a minimum viable product. So how do we go from there to building an actual profitable company that is scalable? So we're looking at operations, CRMs, staff and HR, PR, possibly advertising, marketing, getting clientele, right? Recruitment of teams, like all those things kids don't know. And if we taught it to them earlier, we would then have kids who grew up, right? Our Generation Z now, I'm the end of Generation Y, but Generation Z now, we have taken them to a place where there's no plateau, right? It's now an open situation where there is no box, right? There's only an open sky and they can go wherever they want to go because quite frankly, let's face it, kids that go out there and they become doctors, engineers, attorneys, whatever it is, tech people, investment bankers, they have a ceiling. All of the careers have a ceiling. I don't care if you make 500,000 a year. While that's great, you're capped, right? As an entrepreneur, there is no cap, just like there is no box. So at the end of the day, teaching these kids entrepreneurship, teaching these kids how to manage money, financial literacy, credit, investments, venture capital, all these different things, raising cash, right? And nonprofits, right? All these things collectively together are concepts that need to be taught earlier, especially to Black and brown students who now know that there's more ways to make money than main things that they see. Like you said, they are influenced by mainstream media and what they see in music. If you take those things away sometimes and let them just think, I think it'll open the doors to unlock different visions that they may have for themselves in the future.
thank you so much for talking through all these topics with us and our audience in the world of education for Learn On. Jay,
Yeah.
it's been a pleasure talking with you. And is there anything you wanted to just kind of say as a farewell as we wrap up the conversation?
Challenge yourself to bring to the table not your experience, but your passion. Challenge yourself to not only bring your passion, but bring excellence in everything you do to the forefront and have an agenda that you want to push out that your students should know. Really be in a place to where you're getting out of the zone of just educating my students to building capacity for them so they can go out and do what you did and more and fall in love with your craft to the point where it's second nature and there's nothing that can take you out of the love. My name on Facebook is Jay Veal. I'm on Instagram as incceo.thetutor, also the Jay Veal brand and Black Tutors of social media, Twitter, Inc. Education LLC, and Black Tutors of SM on Twitter. You can always find me by my name, Jay Veal, on LinkedIn, and on Clubhouse, it's INCCEO The Tutor. But if y'all want to reach out, feel free to do so. I'm always willing to help out fellow educators with different things, especially my math educators. But I just want everybody to be great this year. But I want to say it's always going to be passion over profits. And that's how you should think about your educational experiences going forward. That's it.
Access cost-free entrepreneurship and financial wellness resources at everfi.com/K-12.